Let me switch on my camera so you can see me. I hope you can see me. Hi, everyone. This is Liz. I'll take you through a brief safeguarding session about the do's and don'ts during our launch this evening. Now that we're having a virtual launch of the It's a Fact research, one of the things that we need to consider, because we are so many children here and also we have some adults in the room, we need to ensure that, first of all, that this space is very friendly to each and every person. So whenever you want to speak, make sure that you're speaking things that are not offensive to anyone. And also make sure that when you're commenting in the chat, when you're sending an emoji or typing in the chat, let's say introducing yourself, make sure you do so very clearly. Speak to one another in a language that each one understands. Make sure that you are not bullying anyone in the chats, and even where you're joining from, ensure that you're also safe. For the adults in the room, ensure that you're not interacting directly with the children in the chat box. Just make sure that our interactions are very friendly. They are, I don't want to use a big word, but I will say mutual. Ensure that if, however, you are speaking to someone online is the same way that you'll speak to them in person. So whenever you are chatting using the chat function on this Zoom, ensure that what you are posting is very educative. It's something that someone can learn from. It's very friendly to them. Another thing that I want you to consider whenever your camera is, if you want to speak and you're comfortable turning on your camera, make sure that it's on. Please do not take screenshots of the children, just to protect their privacy and identity. As an organization, Mtoto News really value the privacy and the privacy and protection and safety of our children. So do not take screenshots of this meeting. In case you need a recording or just a report of what this launch is about, we'll be able to share that. But please do not take screenshots. Do not message a child. If you're an adult, even as children, if you're chatting with one another, make sure that you're using friendly language as though you would speak to your friend in person. And then we also have children from Senegal who are joining us. I know they do not speak English. So when we are interacting, please make sure that you're speaking in English so that the children in Senegal can be translated to in French. Because their language interpreter does not understand Kiswahili. So let's make sure that we speak in English, or if you're speaking in Swahili, someone in the room can translate in English, and then they can be able to translate to the children in Senegal in French and vice versa. So briefly, that's how we want all of us to interact in this session. Have fun. This is your event as children. Make sure that you share as much as you can. I know most of the children in this launch participated in the study, so we are really looking forward to hearing what your experiences were, what you learned, and all those things that we are going to talk about. So if you have any question, make sure you reach out to myself, Liz, or Jennifer. She's in the meeting, or reach out to Purity Mora, who will be joining us shortly, and also Frida Chemutai. So just inbox us and we'll be able to assist you where you need assistance. But so far, I think we are good. I will hand it back to Al-Amin and Shannon to take over the program. Thank you.
Oh, right. Hi again, guys. So thank you, Liz, for running it through. But just in case someone wasn't listening, so we have safeguarding. You guys need to understand that wherever we are, whether virtual or physical, you guys need to be kept safe. So as Liz has told you guys, we're going to have several safeguarding people here during the virtual meeting, and you can reach out to them through the private inbox, through the chat, hopefully. If you have any issues, anyone is disturbing you or not acting appropriately towards you, you can go on over to them and talk to them. So that's Frida, that's Liz, that's Purity and Miss Jennifer. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah, so you guys, I need you guys to now introduce yourselves on the chats. Just let us know your name, your age, and where you're from. And any questions you have for us, please put them in the chat and then we'll answer them later on in the meeting. Thank you guys very much. We'd appreciate it so much.
So let's start introducing ourselves. So your name, like Shannon told you, your country, and how old you are. So let's get that going in the chat box. Okay, guys, so to like fasten up, okay, perfect. I'm seeing people introducing themselves. I'm seeing hi Joy, welcome to the group, or welcome to the meeting rather. Um, hi Evans. So you guys can introduce yourself, and if you're in like a huge group, you can just type down like all your names and your ages and where you come from. Okay, apparently someone cannot hear.
Someone can't hear.
Okay, okay, no, I think can everyone hear us? Is everyone able to properly hear us?
If you can't hear us, please on the
or like react if you can hear us,
reactions.
react with like a thumbs up if you can hear us. Perfect. Okay, great. Okay. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you guys. Hi Upendo. Welcome to the meeting.
How old are you, Pendo?
Okay. So as we continue getting on with the introductions. Thank you. Thank you, Upendo. So I'm seeing there's a lot of people in here. So hi Cynthia. Hi Cynthia. Welcome. It's very nice to have you here. So I'm seeing there's a lot of people here. So let me just run through who is here. So hi Miss Jennifer. Hi Irene. Hi Miss Susan. Hi Evans. Hi Jaslyn. Hi Elizabeth. Hi Andrews. The children is here. Cynthia, Fatima, Carissa, Ibrahima, Harmony, Tabitha, June, Angela, Brenda, Marcy, Mary, Olakunle. It's very lovely having all of you guys here. We're very glad to have everyone join us for this lovely launch. So
Okay, so guys, I'm gonna welcome Alamin again, guys, so he can talk to you guys. He is a child journalist. He's been here since he was 10 years old. He's a former member of the KCA. He is a member of the committee of the African Children's Summit, the first and the second. He also was part of the East Africa Representatives for Children in African Union, and he in the participation platform.
okay.
Can you guys welcome Alamin for me? Just give a reaction to claps, guys.
Hello everyone. Again, it is so lovely having to like be a part of this whole launch program. And it's very lovely to have an opportunity to be able to be a part of this with all of you amazing guys. So I'm just going to speak a little about Safe Online and Mtoto News. So, Mtoto News, what is Mtoto News? I'm pretty sure you guys have been all around and you guys have been hearing all about Mtoto News here and there. You're hearing Mtoto News has done this, Mtoto News has done this. So Mtoto News is basically an organization that was founded to basically help make children players inside the world that we live inside the society rather than the spectators. So if you're a child and you're wondering how am I able to like speak about what to do, or rather how am I able to speak on what exactly affects me towards others, Mtoto News is basically the place that you go. So Mtoto News is it's a place that basically helps people, or rather children, become players of the world rather than the spectators. So yeah, I think that's basically about it. So with Mtoto News, there's a bunch of things, there's a lot of things that we've been able to do here at Mtoto News. Mtoto News has been able to host the African Children Summit, which is like a huge sort of event where kids, or rather children from all over Africa, come together, they convene and they talk about various issues that affect them, whether it's education, technology, artificial intelligence, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So last year it was in South Africa, and I'm pretty sure next year it's going to be in Sierra Leone. There's something else that we've also been able to do here at Mtoto News. We have a lot of programs, very many programs that help children all around. So we have the Southeast Asia Journalism training, which actually just ended today, right?
Yeah.
So we've had a training that's been going on, the Southeast Asia Journalism training, which basically teaches you to rather like sort of empower yourself to be able to speak up, to have the confidence to do things, interview skills, how to background check, how to check on fake news and all these things. We also have the Toto Creatives Festival, which actually started last year. It's a huge event for like creatives from all over Kenya. I'm pretty sure all over Africa, to be honest. But it's basically a huge event where all creatives are invited to showcase the various many things that they're able to do as creatives. So if you're an artist, you're a musician, you're a comedian, you're a dancer, you're a child advocate, Toto Creatives is a place for you. So yeah.
Yeah. So guys, we're gonna be doing something short because I feel like some people might be tired right now. You know, it's really late in the evening. We're gonna have like an icebreaker, small game, very easy actually. And we're gonna be doing it online, and we'd like you guys to participate as much as you can. If you can turn on your camera and you're comfortable with turning it on, please turn it on. We're gonna play a nice fun game called I Spy.
Yeah.
And I hope
Alright,
you
so
guys can cooperate.
we're going to
Yeah.
request everyone, if you're able to, please switch on your cameras. It would go a long way in doing this icebreaker.
Yeah.
Even the adults, generally, we can play this all together. So if you're able to, please switch on your cameras. So, can we please switch on our cameras, guys? Thank you. I'm seeing people switching on their cameras. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, and as we go on, if you have any questions, please place them down on like the chat box. Yeah. If you have any questions, just place them down in the chat box. Other than that, please guys, if you're comfortable with doing so, we're going to play a small game called I Spy, or the virtual scavenger hunt. So we're going to play a small scavenger hunt game, and we're going to request everybody to switch on their cameras. Yes, thank you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. Great, amazing.
Okay, let's get this started. So
Perfect.
whoever's cameras are on. So anywhere in the room where you're at, we're gonna say we spy something of a certain color,
and you have to come up with something of that color.
and then you bring it on to the camera, and then whoever would see the first we'll call you out, I
We'll
guess.
call you out, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so are we ready? If we're ready for it,
Please
thumbs up or an emoji in the chat. Amazing. Are we ready, guys?
Yeah.
Perfect,
Yeah, cool,
perfect. Cool. Great.
Nice.
So I'll go first. I spy something green.
Green.
I spy something green. Something with the color green. Something with the color
Do you
green.
have anything green in your
I generally. Oh wait, we do. Okay. I
Oh,
generally don't know if this
okay.
can. Okay. I spy something green. So
I'm good.
I have something green right here.
My background.
Your background, amazing. Okay, okay,
Nice.
background.
My cup
Come
of
on,
tea.
guys. Let's see. Okay,
Green,
I'm
green,
seeing
green.
Tabitha something with green. Okay,
Oh, okay.
I'm
We're
seeing
flipping
Mari.
another
Okay,
cup.
Mari with green. Jaslyn, Zuri with something green. Amazing. That's cool. That's
Miss
cool.
Sonia has a green cup.
Miss Sonia has a green cup. That's cool.
Oh, and a
Uh-huh.
green bottle.
Oh, and a green. Okay, okay. Uh-huh. I'm seeing people with different things. Okay. Perfect. Amazing. Okay.
Okay. I spy with my little eye something white.
Something white.
White.
Something white, guys.
What do you
You know what? A shot right here.
Oh, yeah,
I've
my
got
shirt's white.
something white.
My shirt's white too. But...
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
Jaslyn. Okay,
That's
okay, amazing.
Judy.
Carissa, Miss Carissa.
Napkins.
Yeah, okay, that's white. For
Ooh,
Frida,
okay.
that's white as well. Great,
And
Miss
the book.
Sonia. Okay, okay, the book with white. Okay, okay. Marie, okay, another shot with white. That's Tabitha with a white book. That's amazing, amazing, guys. Amazing. All right. Awesome, 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 awesome.
What other colors do we spy? Do we just spy colors or do we get
You
like
know what? I spy something blue. If you guys can get something blue.
do we have
Something blue. Do we have something blue, honestly?
I don't think
Wait, we do.
Oh wait.
We do have
What
something
is
blue.
this?
Okay, so blue. Great.
Okay,
Miss Sonia.
cool.
Okay, that's a pretty
Yeah, blue
good.
pen, okay.
Okay, Jaslyn with a blue cup. Farida with is that full?
Oh, they have a file too. guys.
Okay, amazing. Another
Okay.
file. Okay, Akina Evans.
Akina.
I see you. I see you
Zuri
guys.
with a
Tabitha with
I think
something
it's a
blue.
mug.
Is that a cup?
And then
Yes.
Carissa too also has I think it's a file or like a folder.
Oh, and Upendo with something blue as well. Thank you.
Okay, guys.
And Miss Sonia with a blue bird. Okay, amazing, amazing. Lovely, lovely, so lovely. Amazing. So I think we'll be done with our icebreaker in a minute, but we have something else planned later on during this meeting. So Shannon, if you would. Presentation.
Okay, guys, we're gonna do something very cool. We're about to see some really, really cool people, and they have really, really nice presentations they have planned out for us to explain to us just what child is. And some of you might be asking, what is child? Al, do you know what child is?
Child. Alright, so we're going to learn what child is in the presentations.
Yes, guys.
Yes.
So let's
We're going to learn
welcome.
what child is.
Let's
the
welcome
presentations.
Evans and Upendo, guys. Can you like clap for them in the reaction, guys?
Yeah, throw some
Evans
claps
and
in the
Upendo,
reaction, guys. Let's
guys.
invite Evans and Upendo. So Evans and Upendo are going to wait, it's Evans Otieno and Upendo Nawire.
Nawire.
These guys are from Kenya. So we're going to request Upendo and Evans Otieno to have their cameras on and their mics on if they are going to be speaking. And if the production team has like sort of their presentation up, we also request them to help them out with that. So guys, let's invite Upendo and Evans Otieno to do their presentations.
Yeah.
Upendo, Evans. All right, guys. All right. So the stage is yours, guys. So Upendo and Evans, please guys, if you're ready for if you're ready with your presentations, I'd like to humbly ask and request for you guys to start us off. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. Are you guys ready, Upendo?
If you're not ready, we can get back to you
We can
guys
get
in a
back
bit.
to you guys in a few.
Okay,
Okay,
ready.
great. Thank you. I guys play or did I just say play? Pay very close attention to the presentations. And once again, guys, if
Yeah.
you have
Sorry.
any questions, please put them down in the chat box, whether it's for us, whether it's for the amazing people who are going to be speaking. Thank you.
Jocelyn from
Okay. Thank you. Upendo, you can start us off.
Thanks so much. So welcome everyone. This presentation is on the research, which is It's a Fact, a research and report on digital literacy. Here we're going to be talking about what is It's a Fact, what were the ideologies. Then we will go into stories we used to help the children understand safety in the digital space. And then we will move on to the findings, and then finally the conclusion. So first of all, the first methodologies that we used. Before the training, we obviously had them answer some surveys, ask them some questions, to know what they knew about the internet, fake news, and online safety, so that we could just get a very, very good starting point. And then immediately after we did the training, so we trained them for a few days, and then after the training, story comes from, and we asked them different things to gauge their ability and the understanding of what we taught them. And then finally, 3 months later, we came back to see if the children still remembered what they had learned. Kenya, Malawi, and Senegal. I was one of the lead researchers along with Evans here in Kenya. We have Fines, Salima, Fatima, Vincent from Malawi, and then the child researchers in Senegal who dealt with the region, which was the conflicted region there. So who are we? We had a total participation of 228 children who joined in on the project, 116 boys and 112 girls. And the researchers were a total of 18, both researchers that traveled as well as researchers that were part of the children in those areas. So let us get into story time for a bit. Okay, so this is the Maria story. I want everyone to listen up very closely. So, story. That is, I'm not sure, I think you guys are muted, but you're supposed to answer story come. So the Maria story, we start off with Maria was a girl
You remember the Maria story? I'm just reading. How can I? No, scroll through the screen. So, sorry, just a second. We're connecting. We're trying to look for the how I'll share the screen because it's like Upendo. We have lost Upendo. To the video. John, your friend's cousin, sends you. Oh,
Lucas then Maria classmate.
so Maria is your classmate, and she got abducted by a stranger she met online. The stranger who abducted her has continued to abduct other children, and no action has been taken against him. So you guys need to tell me what safety risk, what is the online safety risk in this scenario? So the question here was, what is the online safety risk in this scenario? It's abducted. You won't be like, no one can find you. You got lost, and first to get to the point that you get abducted, you have to like meet with a person you have never met with before. And if that happens, it happens because someone somewhere fails to do fact checking, because you cannot get kids. You must have contact at that time. Oh, is Upendo here?
Hi,
think-
yeah,
If Upendo has
I just got back. All right. I'm not sure if Evans has finished the Maria story.
No, I have not.
Did everyone hear? Okay. So I'm not sure. Should I start again? Or where have you guys reached? Should I start
Just
the
start.
Maria story again?
Yeah.
All right. So thank you everyone for being here again. I apologize, there were some issues with the internet. So Maria is your classmate, and she was abducted by a stranger she met online. The stranger who abducted her has continued to abduct other children, and no action has been taken against him. A week later, John, your friend's cousin, sends you a friend request on a platform you use. You have not met John in person, but he has a similar age to you, and your friends always say nice things about him. John sends you a screenshot from an online news source about your favorite celebrity and tells you that they will be performing at a nearby children's event. He invites you to accompany him to the event. So basically, what the children were asked is, how do they feel about the request? They do not know John. Recently, their friend Maria has been abducted and the perpetrator has not been found. What would they accept or reject, even though they do not know who John is? So can we get in the chat? Can we get some people interacting? How would you feel, and what would you reject or accept, and why? Just inputting it in the chat. How would you react? Oh, I think some people want to say it verbally. So could we unmute Zuri? Oh, someone asked what the age bracket is for Maria and her friends. They are between, okay, they are all children. These are all children. They are between the ages of 13 and 15. that is the age bracket for Maria and her friends. Okay,
Okay.
Zuri, please go ahead.
Give me 1 second to close my door. Hi everybody, my name is Zere, and about this, I will number one. Before I whatever, I will first go to my mom and ask her if I'm able and if she can take me. Number two, the second option is I ignore him because one, I've never met him, but my friends talk about him, and maybe he can pretend to be somebody that's the person. For example, like he can pretend, like he can find out, like for example, Maria, I can say, oh, I'm Maria's brother, because they don't know about Maria, maybe. And I was like, oh, okay. And like after we find, like they were like, can you come with me? And I was like, yeah. And I'm gonna reject or not respond or block him or report him to the police. Because there's obvious reasons. If he randomly texts me like, hi, I know you, and I can't and I'll tell my mom so that I'll be safe. Because if I actually go, I don't know what's going to happen. And I can, for example, go, because I remember I was watching a video online where a child, a 15-year-old, was texted, hi, I'm your Simon's friend is called Simon's cousin. Can we meet up and we can go somewhere with you? She's like, yes, sure. Then the parents were there. Then she was almost abducted. They were like pretending to see what will happen. And I feel like children are not educated enough about this, and they don't know the crisis because they can be the next one being kidnapped. So I first text my mom or go to tell my mom, we go to the police station and report, block him and report him. That is what I'll do. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Zuri. I would hope for anyone else who has something to say, please type it into the chat as we continue with the rest of the report. So, as Zuri said, a majority of children had decided to reject it. Around 92% knew that it was dangerous and knew not to they knew not to interact with that person. I would like to pass this on to Evans now to present the findings by context of all the areas that we had visited. Thank you.
All right, so just before Evans starts us off, so Evans, I'm only going to give you about 3 minutes because of time. So I would really appreciate if you only take about 3 minutes to wrap up because we have other presentations and time is clearly not on our side. So I'm only going to give you about 3 minutes to wrap up your presentation. Thank you.
Okay. So, during the research, we other kids like they had see you're sharing. Okay. So the response from the different areas was the response from these different areas were not the same. He used Eldoret as an urban area. For those who know Eldoret here in Kenya, we use it as urban center because it's a city. They had the ability to receive the information, but were unable to integrate the knowledge they had received. They had not put into action what they knew. Some of them like knew what to do, but then now actualizing what they know was the problem. Not a bad number, like a fair number of children who are unable to communicate properly using digital tools. Some of them never knew how to use these tools, like let's say WhatsApp that you can use to text someone maybe that you trust. And there's also we tried emails. some of them were not very confident in how they would use this digital tools to communicate and report. Some children also okay. Oh, so most of the children could successfully identify the problems but lacked the practical skills to solve them. Like, is at that point where you know what you're doing is not right, but you do not know what is the right thing to do. Yeah. And also there was this part when we came now to the rural area where not like a little number, let me say a lesser number were not familiar, a lesser number was familiar with these digital tools. Most were unfamiliar with online matters and equipped with testable knowledge. Some exhibited commendable communication and collaboration skills higher than peers in other regions. I was actually shocked because some of them knew about these things while their peers never knew and they had not shared. Also, out to out of the present children, majority were able to create content online. Like they had the ability and knowledge, but not most of them were content creators. Also, most knew how to create passwords, but did not do so due to lack of their wait, just a second. In the conflict areas, we had children who could receive the process and integrate the information dispatched to them, but they not all of them, a little number of them. They could communicate efficiently also, but could not collaborate properly. Out of the present children, majority were able to create content online. Yeah, those are these are the findings from the research we did. I'll take it back to Alamin. Upendo, sorry.
Hi, thank you so much. And so that is all we have for the findings by context. And then the main findings that we saw were access is not the same as safety. There is high digital access, and then there is low safety skills. Just because they had access to the internet, to the digital space, that does not mean use and grooming that is present online. Knowing how is not the same as knowing why. No one had explained why passwords were important. They did not know why they needed to use passwords, as much as people had told them how they can put passwords on different apps, different things that they did. They did not understand why they needed to use it, why it kept them safe. So that was one of the things that we had to explain and break down for them so that they could use it more. Then community trust can be tricky online. They can trust them, or just because in the Maria story, we had John's cousin, your friend's cousin. So you can't trust that person just because other people say that you can trust them. If you do not know them and you have not verified that you can trust them, it is important to withhold that trust. But a lot of children, okay, though minimal, there were still some children who said that because there was reference from someone else, that they would trust that person. children can become creators, not just consumers. Just as Evans had said, there were some children who became content creators after the research itself. A lot of them imagined themselves doing community-based content, not just scrolling, not just doom scrolling on their phones. And then the final main finding is girls and boys can be equal online. From the research, we found that after the training, a lot of girls had surpassed the boys in the mobile internet access in both Kenya and Malawi. And a lot of them had learned to use the careful habits, such as supervised access. And a lot of girls leaned into more heavily into family for support. So conclusions and takeaway. I would like to bring back Evans to talk about the conclusions and key takeaways from this research.
So what we were able to conclude from the research is that there was a digital divide like it separated children who were, I'd say, I'm lacking the word, but children who at least have a bit more knowledge about online safety and how to protect themselves, and the children who had lesser knowledge and lesser access to digital tools. We concluded that children learned to navigate through the digital spaces safely. And some of them now could even do it without having to be supervised by an adult. And there's also impact and growth. During digital competencies were successfully swung to action to the project, delivering tangible real-world outcomes. I'd say not only with the children we are doing research with, but also me myself. I knew how to create content, and I also knew what content I would like to create, but I had not started creating content, and I have started creating content. For that reason, follow me on Instagram at Evans047. Thank you. Back to Alamin.
Okay, thanks. I'll take over first. So finally, we have the actionable steps, what we want. In education and infrastructure, digital literacy should be a regular school subject. It should, any other school subject like maths, like English, it should be something that can be easily accessed for children to understand their digital safety concerns. We should focus on why. You cannot leave a child with the how without the why. So to ensure and apply safe habits, ensure that children are taught on the why. Then localized design. For African communities, families, at first teachers, and the local networks help shape these decisions. So these programs should be tailored to fit the African communities. And our child safety alert is that the child helpline 116 is always there, and children should be able to report it. If a parent, if a teacher, if a friend, if you see someone is in trouble, or if they tell you something that they might find scary online, it is important to report immediately. And finally, we want to say that this report is for everyone: government, schools, parents, and NGOs. And it shows that digital literacy for children is a priority, and the potential for growth is so wide, it is immense. So we believe the internet can be safe for every child in Africa. So please continue. If you want to read more of the research, which I highly recommend, there will be a link posted into the group chat. So please check it out, read more about it. And thank you everyone for listening to our report.
Thank you so much, Upendo and Evans, for that very eye-opening presentation, and we really appreciate it. I hope you guys got something from it. I hope you guys learned something from it. Next, we will be welcoming the that also did on that, and we will be giving you guys 5 minutes to present, and then we move on to the next person. Thank you, guys.
If you guys have any questions, please put them down in the chat box. We can have them answered a type bit later. Thank you. So Malawi team, the stage is yours. So the guys from Malawi, we're asking you guys to please unmute, because if you guys are trying to speak to us, we can't hear you. So please unmute your microphone. Malawi team, thank you.
Okay, if the Malawi team is not able to present right now, we can move on to the Kenyan team that's not in Nairobi.
I think it's the group with Evans Karani. So in the meanwhile, as we wait for Malawi team to sort of figure out if there's issues with their microphone, let's please have the Kenyan team presenting. So we're going to give you guys again 5 minutes so that we can wrap this up. So Kenyan team, please, the stage is yours. Evans Karani, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, please unmute and start us off with your presentation.
Yes, Chimwemwe, you may unmute
Yeah.
yourself and speak.
So I think Miss
Mr. Chimwemwe,
Where is from Malawi, so
I think the
as
Malawi.
we see. Okay, thank you, welcome.
Thank you. I don't know if I'm audible enough.
Yeah, your mic is okay. Thank you.
So I'm also joined with the other child researchers. I think they also have some few information to share. We have Jared Chatendeka here. We have Ellen Namaona, and we also have Andrew and Madaliso Mauridi. They have joined this meeting. So I think I'll give over to them. But just from our end, I think the research was very insightful in regards to the areas that it was conducted, specifically that we targeted the rural and the urban areas. I think we had a lot of learning where we could see variations in terms of knowledge regarding to the digital aspect and even other gaps in context of harm that children can face during online and even where to report and how to report. There are also some of the interesting issues that came out. From some stakeholders meetings that we conducted, we also noted that I think the digital literacy should be included in the teaching curriculum from lower level, as it was noted that even some of the guardians there might not be aware of these digital literacy aspects. So maybe quickly, Gerald can mute so that can also share some insights from the research, or Helen or Andrew, one of you can also unmute and share 2 or 3 things from the training just to beef up the report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chimwemwe. So I'm getting the sense that Mr. Chimama had called a couple of guys to sort of give out their insights and in views. So if there's anyone, please, if you were called, please go on ahead and unmute and sort of give out your insights. Thank you.
Yeah, this is John Brown from the college, representing my team. So during the research, I think it was something interactive, fast. We were not that we were not that contact with the internet, but since it's a fact research, right now we are able to do something in the internet. We are able to do some content creation, and yeah, we are so happy. And also it's a great opportunity that my friends are here, and they really appreciate Mtoto News, and we really appreciate that. So in Kenya we say we are digitally literate. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it very much. So I'm going to assume that that's about everyone. But I think there's another team from Senegal. So I'd love to invite the team from Senegal to sort of give out their insights. So please, I'd highly appreciate if you guys could unmute and switch on your cameras. And you guys, it's completely fine to speak in French. Someone will translate what you are saying. Thank you. So please go on.
Hello guys. We are the team for Senegal. So all of we don't speak English very well. But
Okay, so it's completely fine if they don't speak English. They can speak in French, and then we can have translators. All right, so Senegal team, and I'm requesting if you guys have two devices and you guys the two devices are connected with the mics on, I'd request for you guys to switch off the microphone from one device and then speak through one. So I'm going to again, it's completely fine if you guys speak French. We have translators who will sort of translate what you guys are saying. So again, the stage is yours. Thank you.
yes, we want to speak in French, but so can you repeat again what you want we speak here?
All right, so I was hoping you guys could be giving us a few insights on the research that you guys may have done or how you're feeling so far up to this point throughout the meeting. So yeah. So you guys can speak in French, but we're going to have a translator here with us. So please tell them.
Bonjour, nous pouvons parler en français. Oui, nous pouvons parler en français.
All right.
Bonjour, d'accord. Vous pouvez répéter en français les questions et nous allons essayer de répondre.
Good question in French.
Okay, so the question is,
Yeah.
So basically, you guys are supposed to give out your insights on the research that you've done during like the whole period that you guys were in a training, I'm assuming. So
Est-ce que nous donnerons les points de les rechercher pour vous? Let me get the...
Repeat, repeat again, please.
Est-ce que vous pouvez attendre pour 12 minutes?
D'accord.
okay, so as we wait for someone that we're looking for to come and help us out with the Senegal team. So in the meanwhile, can we have Gerald from Malawi? Gerald, if you're here, please switch on your microphone and your camera. Okay, so Gerald, I can see your camera is on, but I need you to unmute. Please unmute your microphone.
If you have any issue that you cannot communicate to the microphone, please let us know in the chat.
Yeah, and like she's saying, if you have any issues with your microphone, please let us know in the chat if you can't unmute.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm being told it was sort of fixed. So please try unmuting your microphone again. All right. So I'm sensing that we have a lot of issues in the meanwhile, but we're still trying to work on the microphone issues. So we'll get back to you, Gerald. And I'm looking if Mr. Mustafa is here. Please, Mr. Mustafa, if you're here, please switch on your microphone and your camera. We would really appreciate your help with the team that's from Senegal. All right. Okay. So Mr. Mustafa is not here, but we'll get right back to the Senegal team and the Malawi team. But in the meanwhile, I'd like to invite Professor Sonia. So if you guys don't know who Professor Sonia is, her name is Professor Sonia Livingstone. She's a university professor in London who teaches about technology and media. So that's something. She studies about basically how us children use technology like the internet, our phone, social media, and basically how to keep us children safe while we're trying to have fun online. So the fun thing about Professor Livingstone is that she's written about 20 books about children, parents, and the digital world. She helps lead big, huge international projects like Global Kids Online and Digital Futures for Children to make the online world better for young people like us. She gives expert advice to important world leaders and organizations. Just think about it. The United Kingdom government, the United Nations, UNICEF, on kids' internet safety and rights. A special honor? She was given a special award by the British Royal Family, an OBE, for her work to keep children safe on the internet. So, Professor Sonia Livingstone. Please switch on your camera and your microphone and give us perhaps like a few couple of reflections on how the presentations have been so far, although like we haven't really had that many presentations. But it would be lovely to have your input on how the presentations have been so far. Okay, so I can see Professor Sonia isn't here. So I'm going to invite Mr. Chimwemwe again from Malawi to give us sort of his reflections if he's here. Thank you. Mr.
Thank
Chimwemwe.
you. Again. I think also one of the child researcher is just communicating to me that she's failing to unmute her mic, and the other one is also failing to unmute. I don't know if you can maybe work on that. But then on my reflection as the one who was also leading in the child research, I think my friends can also maybe come in. We have Yane Kubanda and the MS Ngolomi. They're also part of the of this child research. We really noted that interestingly, I think children, they thought they can face any harm when it comes to online, which is also something that came out when we were also doing some key format interviews with the guardians and the parents, where they said, how can children face harm when it comes to online usage? So this is a good reflection to know that I think there are little gaps in regards to different countries, including Malawi, when it comes to this knowledge of digital research, inclusive how to stay safe online. So I think from our context, what is now remaining is the issue of extending the knowledge to other students and the other children who might also maybe face similar challenges as it was highlighted during that that short story of Maria. Those things really happen. They are impractical, and due to rise in the usage of internet, smartphone among children, I think this kind of interventions, the research in digital literacy trainings, they are really important. And also, I think just conducting webinars regarding to raising awareness to children on how to stay safe online is also very important from our end. Maybe, I don't know if Gerard, you can now manage to unmute, or maybe Helen, can you manage to unmute your mic so that you can also share some insights from the training?
About digital literacy training, I learned so many things like how we can keep our account security, like creating strong passwords and combining them with the letters and other symbols to keep them safe from other scammers, and also how we can know that this one is a scam or not, and also how we can keep ourselves safe when using the internet from so many things like pornography and other things that can destroy our minds when using the internet. I think that, of course, that was a long time we learned about digital literacy training, and I haven't been leading since that time. So that's all I know for now.
Thank you. Anything to add?
Nothing.
Hi everyone again. So I'm seeing that Professor Sonia is back. So I'm just going to give a run through of who she is again. So Professor Sonia is a university professor in London, and she teaches about technology and media. She learns all about how we use technology like the internet, phone, social media, and how to basically keep us children safe online while we're trying to have fun. So she's written about 20 kids about children, parents, and the digital world. And she helps to lead big international projects like Global Kids Online and digital features for children to make the online world better for us guys. And she gives amazing expert advice to important world leaders and organizations, like I said, the United Kingdom government, the United Nations, and UNICEF. So what does she give advice on? Kids' internet safety and rights. And she was given a special award by the British royal family, again, an OBE, for her amazing work on trying to keep children safe on the internet. So Professor Sonia, welcome. It's really lovely having you here. So we're going to request you to give like a couple of reflections on how the whole sort of launch has been for you so far, and the research that the kids have done. And yeah, so the stage is all yours. Welcome.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry to have disappeared before the internet crashed at exactly the wrong moment. So you can see that it does happen everywhere. So thank you so much for inviting me to join this event, which I really am enjoying very much. I thought I would just say what a beautiful report you've all produced, and I especially loved the report produced by the young researchers, all of you here today. Lots of researchers around the world promised to involve young people. I think you have really shown the way that it can be done well. And I love the youth voice and the way the report is laid out. It's very witty. It's very thoughtful. You describe very carefully conducted research and some very interesting findings. So I think that's fantastic. So I learned a lot from reading the research and being occasionally part of the process. I think I was part of how things were originally discussed. And so very nice to see the result. So I was thinking about your big question. So the big question is, if you find a way to encourage and improve digital literacy among young African populations, does that improve safety? And the research is really helpful in identifying what kind of digital literacy can be improved. But it's a bit more nuanced in whether or not you manage to improve safety. So Maria's story is a really great illustration. Through the work that you did in the It's a Fact project, I saw how young people gained better digital literacy, especially better creative skills and some of the other skills, and they learned more about safety and about information. But a few months later, people still made some poor decisions. They still said maybe they would get in touch with a stranger, and we probably wish that they wouldn't. So you really led me to think more deeply about what it takes to keep children safe online. And digital literacy is a really important part of the story, but it's not the only part of the story. And so when you take your findings to the policymakers, they need to think, where does digital literacy fit in a bigger set of policies? At least I hope that they do. Because obviously we want young people to have digital literacy, like from the very first time they go to school, or actually the very first time they use technology, all the way through till they're grown up. And actually grown-ups need better digital literacy as well, of course. But is that going to be enough to keep young people safe? So I think your conclusions and recommendations are really helpful. So you say access is not enough for safety. And that made me think, of course, access brings both risk and safety. And actually, many people around the world are saying, well, let's just ban the technology. Let's just stop the access, and then children will be safe. I think what we hope to find is ways in which young people can have access, but also digital literacy and also better regulation so that they can have access and still be safe. Access alone is not enough, but taking away access is also a problem. Then I think you say, or you concluded that knowing kind of how digital technologies work is not enough. You need to know kind of why they work as they do, and why some activities lead to risk, and why some activities can make children safer. And I think that's a great point, because often when we educate young people about digital, we're always telling them what to do, and we don't always explain why it matters and how it works and what's going on behind the scenes. So I really like that point as well. I think a child, probably as soon as a child starts learning to speak, they start saying why. Why is this? Why is this? Why is this? I think we need a lot more explaining and responding to the questions that young people have, and probably a bit less telling them what to do and what not to do. I thought you found what you called a really interesting gap between learning about online risk and putting it into practice. And this is one of the oldest problems actually in the field of health and safety. And we can teach people that they ought to clean their teeth, but they don't clean their teeth. We can teach people they ought to take their medicine, but they forget to take their medicine. We can teach people that they should be careful about requests to get in touch with strangers, but they forget about it. So it's like a bigger problem in a way than online safety. And we don't have very many answers, but some of the answers that I have seen that could go along with digital literacy are really thinking about the incentives, like why did some of those young people say, yeah, I will go and meet that stranger? And we kind of know why they would not, because they don't know the person and they're a stranger and they've been told not to. But for those who say, yes, I will meet them, I think we need to understand why. What makes that seem exciting and interesting? And then we could address that, and that might help with risk. And the other thing I thought that research has shown is really important is peer norms. So if all your friends are saying, oh, it would be exciting to go and meet that stranger, then that's kind of tempting. But if all your friends are talking about, don't go meet that stranger, then I think that helps the young person make the decision. So we also want to think about what's going on within the peer group. And then one thing you didn't talk about in the research that I was also thinking about reading the report is that we know that some people are better supported. They have parents and family and teachers who kind of help them more and support them, or they can support others. And some people are more marginal or feel more left out or isolated or vulnerable. And I wonder, my challenge back to this group might be to say, maybe in a next project, are there ways that we can improve digital literacy and safety, especially for the ones who are a bit more on their own, or a bit more marginal, or a bit more vulnerable? And maybe they need some extra resources there that are not the same as what everybody else needs. So I learned a lot from reading the report. I had lots of thoughts, as you can see, and I think there are lots of ways you can now take those findings to the policymakers and the platform designers and say, this is what young people do and don't understand about passwords, about safety by design, about reporting and help services that are provided or that aren't provided or that don't work. I think there's a lot you can do with this report, and knowing other projects that you've all been involved in, I'm expecting you to do that, and I think that's fantastic. That'll be really good for young people everywhere. Thank you. Can I pass back?
Yeah, thank you so much, Miss Livingstone. That was a really nice, very, very informative presentation you've given us just now. And I've learned so much from it. And for me, my understanding of it in summary is giving children the platform to explore and do dangerous things in safe spaces. We can't just take it away and expect it to like just disappear like that. Because you know, when you take it away from the kids, they'll go do it now behind your backs, and then you'll never be able to like keep them safe in such spaces. And I'm very, very thankful for that information. I hope everybody has gotten to understand something from it. They've learned something from it. I hope your parents who may be with us right now have learned something from it. It was quite amazing. Next, we will be welcoming Mr. Mustafa from Senegal, and we hope that we will learn something from him as well. Mr. Mustafa, the stage is yours.
Hi everyone. Okay. Hi everyone. Hopefully y'all can all see us. All right. So, it seems that Mr. Mustafa is not here, and thank you so much for all of that, Miss Sonia. Really appreciate it. It's lovely having you here again. So, I'm sensing that we've had a bunch of questions. Like a lot of us have a lot of questions that we want to ask, whether to ask the moderators, to some of the guys who have spoken here. So I'm going to invite everyone to a Q&A session, a question and answer question segment. So I'm to invite Miss Liz Busisa, Piriti Mora, and the Malawi team, Mr. Chimumwe. These guys are going to join us, and Madam Sonia as well. You guys are going to join us in answering some of the questions that the children here and maybe some of the guys who've joined us. You guys are going to help us answer a lot of these questions. So if you have questions, you guys can switch on your mics, ask away, but I'd really love us to raise our hands. So raise your hand up, then we can have you ask your question. So whenever you guys are ready, if you have questions, please raise your hand and then we'll get right to you. Perfect.
Tell what you want us to, never mind. Can you list the places you did the
Right.
research?
So it seems to us that like there were a couple of questions earlier on in the chat. So we had a question from Diana. I don't know if Miss Diana is still here. So if Miss Diana is still here, your question is about to be answered. So she was asking, can you list the places you did the research? Not Kenya and Malawi, but rather the name of the towns and the sorts of communities that you went to. So if there's anyone who is willing to answer that question, that is the researchers, the student researchers, the amazing people here that we have to join us. So if you're willing to answer that question, please go ahead.
Okay, let me answer. Hi everyone, this is Liz. I'm joining Alamin and Shannon here. So regarding the places that we visited, I'll start with Kenya. In Kenya, we went to Eldoret. We worked with a school there, the Royal Pillar School. You'll see the name in the report once we launch it. We also went to Busia, a place called Lukolis. We worked with the children from there. It's a region, Teso North, in Busia County. And then we also went to, you can see the children are there at the Lucolis church. Hi.
Hey.
Thank you so much for joining us. And then we went to, thank you guys for joining us. We can see you very, very clearly. And then we also went to West Pokot, a place called Kapenguria, and we engaged children there. And also we engage children between the ages of 9 to 17 years throughout the research, both in Kenya, Malawi, and Senegal. And in Malawi, I know Chimwemwe is here, so he can also just let us know which regions in Malawi, the districts in Malawi that you were able to engage the children in.
Yeah.
Chimwemwe, are you able to respond?
Yeah, thank you. So for Malawi, we had the research done in one of the districts, we call it Salima. There we had the one primary school where I think most of the participants were between age 13 to 15. We also did the research in Lilongwe, which is the capital city of Malawi, at a school called COS, and another school, it was it's called Imponela Secondary School. So we also targeted the children alongside that area. So in Malawi, we had 3 schools. That's one in Lilongwe, one in Salima, and one in Dowa district. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chimwemwe. So I had noticed that Mr. Mustafa had joined us. If he's still here, hi, Mr. Mustafa. I can see you're still here. So I'd love to request. We were having some issues with your team. So we're generally hoping you could help us with your team in Senegal. So I'm pretty sure they had a lot to speak and talk about. So I'm requesting if you're able to, you could help us with the team that's from Senegal. I'd highly appreciate that. So please switch on your microphone and your camera, and we can hear a couple of few words from you. And if the team from Senegal is here as well, I'd also love to request for you guys to put on your microphones and your camera. Okay, Mr. Mustafa, I was going to ask you one more time. If you're still here, please do switch on your microphone and your camera, as well as the team from Senegal. We're going to give you guys a moment to speak. Yes, hi, Mr. Mustafa. Welcome.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Salut.
I
Ask him to speak in French.
Mr. Mustafa, it's
Wait,
fine
I
to
speak in French.
French.
I don't speak
Yeah,
English.
you can
I
speak
try
in
to
French.
speak
Fine.
sometimes, but voilà. I don't know English.
No, it's fine.
Voilà.
It's totally fine. You can speak in French. We have a translator.
D'accord. Yes. Voilà, bonjour à tout le monde. Merci beaucoup à Mtoto News pour le partenariat et pour la tenue de cette activité qui s'inscrit dans le cadre du partage du rapport de l'étude de cas qui a été menée au Sénégal avec les enfants. Voilà, vous avez avec nous les enfants de l'autre côté avec Ibrahim Bach, le président. Donc, les 4 enfants ont été mobilisés pour qu'ils puissent quand même participer à cette activité afin de donner leur opinion. Voilà, nous sommes très heureux vraiment de prendre part à cette activité. Voilà, qui montre le sentiment de reconnaissance envers notre organisation, mais également qui profite également aux enfants d'avoir un aperçu sur les résultats qui ont été obtenus à la suite de l'intervention de l'ONG Mtoto au Sénégal. Voilà, comme vous le saviez, les enfants quand même auront bien voulu donner leur avis, mais malheureusement, il y a un défaut de langue qui fait qu'ils auront du mal à partager leur opinion. Mais quand même, nous suivons tous le déroulement de cette rencontre depuis le début. et on est très content de prendre part à cette activité. Et aussi, nous profitons de cette audience de vous transmettre les salutations, les meilleurs du président de l'association, qui est en train de suivre actuellement le déroulement de cette activité. Aussi, recevoir quand même les sentiments, la reconnaissance des enfants vis-à-vis de votre organisation par rapport comme à l'étude qui a été menée au Sénégal, mais surtout quand même l'implication que vous faites du jour au lendemain à propos des enfants. Nous saluons vraiment l'initiative et nous remercions davantage et nous souhaiterons vraiment que ce partenariat puisse être continué dans la mesure du possible afin qu'on puisse travailler sur d'autres programmes allant dans le sens de renforcer et de protéger les enfants sur leurs besoins. Voilà, c'est ça ce que je voulais dire en termes d'introduction et vous remercie davantage par rapport à l'implication. Merci.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Mustafa. I appreciate that. So we're going to invite our very trusty human translator here who's going to give us a few words or sort of summarize what Mr. Mustafa has said. All right, in like about 5 minutes. But in the meanwhile, we can continue having
Q&A.
questions being answered. So Miss Andros Kibutha has been asking a few questions in Kenya she may have missed. The schools you worked with, were they public or private? Okay, so from what I know is that the schools were mainly public. So in terms of comparing the results, I'm not pretty sure if that is going to be in the new, but let me invite Liz to sort of gaze on that because she was there on the ground completely. So yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your question, and Rose. So the school that we worked with in Eldoret, it was actually a private school based in Eldoret. That was the only school that we worked with in the study. But in Busia, Teso North, that is Teso North in Busia, and in West Pokot, we worked with organizations that were able to help us mobilize the children. In Busia, we worked with the Blue Collis Church. You can see the children who are there. And then in West Pokot, we worked with an organization called IREP Foundation. They work in Kapenguria in West Pokot. So they were able to help us mobilize the children and engage the children. In Senegal, we also worked with Mr. Mustafa, who's just spoken. They have an organization which is called Coros. It's located in Diobel in Senegal. And then in Malawi, Chimwemwe can let us know the children who they were able to mobilize there, but most of them were a mix. They were a mixture of children from public and private schools, but were not able to work with schools alone in this study, but children who came from both public and private schools all through. Chimwemwe, are you able to let us know in Malawi if you worked with any school or they're just children who are mobilized from the areas within the districts that you mentioned?
All right. Thank you, Liz, so much for that. So, Mr. Chimwemwe, if you could also base a sort of answer towards this from how you conducted your research in Malawi.
Yeah, so normally for us, we targeted the public primary school, which is in Salima, and the two Sunday schools are also public Sunday school. And I also we want to add something on the same because we targeted the special number of students in this public Sunday school. I think we had more interest of students joining the training. So the teachers and some other mother groups from these schools, they even requested for extension of the training as planned. But for us, we really work with the public Sunday school where we mobilized through the mother groups and even the school authorities. So in all the three districts, two were public and the one was private. That was the best in Nigeria. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Chimwemwe, for that lovely, lovely input. So are you ready?
skip something.
Okay, so Eric has a question for Mr. Mustafa. So go on ahead.
Monsieur Mustafa, pouvez-vous en faire un résumé dans la chat?
Okay. All right. Thank you. Hopefully, Mr. Mustafa has gotten what you've told him. So, we have another question that was pissed off. So, do you have other studies that probably compare rural, that is, which looks like was the focus of research with urban? So the question again is, do you have other studies that probably compare rural, which looks like was the main focus of the research, with the urban? So I'm going to invite Liz again to answer that question. Trusty Liz.
Thank you for your question. Yes, we do have comparisons. So what Upendo and Evans presented is their report as children researchers, but we do have a main report which gives a proper analysis and comparison of the urban, rural, and conflict settings in Kenya, Malawi, and also in Senegal. We did just one area, but in Kenya and Malawi, we have that comparison. So once we share the main report together with the children report, then you can be able to see a full analysis of the comparative analysis of all these three contexts, and then you'll be able to see how each region was affected by this study.
All right.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Liz, again. So I'm seeing like there's a lot of questions that might be answered by the next person that we're going to invite for the next session. But if there are any other questions, please do send them. So there's another question by Evans Karani. How sure are we that the study really helped at all? So let me invite Miss Jennifer to answer that question. Me have her. Let's see. All right, still a few.
Thank you so much, Alamin and Shannon. So I'm going to attempt to answer that question that I think it's a child who has asked, how sure are we that study really helped? So based on that research, we have developed a draft digital literacy framework, because what we heard from children, they were saying, these competence areas are not working, like issues to do with relational trust, where, like, I think Professor Sonia has said it very well, like, if I'm doing something, it's good for all of us. If, you know, it's a thing that we're doing all of us. So because of that, so we have developed digital literacy framework, a draft one, which would ask for comments from all of us, so that we can be able to get inputs from you. As soon as we are able to, as soon as I'm done with my presentation, I'll be sending a link for input. But the idea is to be able to say, this framework for digital literacy is what the children told us. And in addition to that, what the kids say from the It's a Fact research, we have been able to do a couple of other research over the last 2 years, and we are seeing the same thing coming up and over again. The relational trust, issues to do with the why question, you know. So we said, this is something that is not anywhere in any digital literacy programs, and from people are doing digital literacy in Africa without considering some of these very, very pertinent issues that we are seeing in our research project. So I've been given 5 minutes to be able to do. Okay, I need to share. Just give me a minute. So I'm going to go through my document very, very fast. So we are trying to answer a global question. I think Professor Sonia has said we cannot be able to remove children. We can only provide for them tools they can be able to use to be able to support themselves. I'm going to skip out some of these, like by 2050, 1 in 4 people will be African, and that 1 in 4 are currently children, but they don't have digital literacy skill, as you see in this following slide. Okay, between 10 and 15% have some form when they're graduating high school. This is numbers for graduating high school, that they have any digital literacy skills. And because digital literacy skills have been boxed into a certain way, so a lot of children are not learning digital literacy. And that's why Evans and Upendo said, can you make it as part of our curriculum? Let it be like the math or the English that we learn every single day. And again, okay, so, and then there's another issue that you read in the adult report, that we found that when a parent, and I think that's where Professor Sonia was saying, it is in the adult report, it's not in the children's report, where a child is empowered and a parent is not empowered, there's a huge gap, okay? Because a parent cannot be able to support their child to navigate the digital space. Okay, there's a huge gap. There's an emphasis on digital literacy for children, but while leaving their parents who are, one, digitally illiterate, and also another level, some parents are not illiterate at all. They don't read or write. So it becomes very, very difficult to support their children who are navigating a very, very evolving digital space. And so what we are proposing, it's based on, one, the research that you have done and realities of Africa. For example, in most of the frameworks, including the EU I've forgotten the name, the DigiComp framework, it assumes that every child has a phone, every child has a computer. But in Africa, the reality is there's so much shared devices. Again, we read that in the research. Children told us they're sharing devices. So they don't have their own personal devices. They're sharing. That rich cousin of yours who is driving a motorbike or goes to the farm and is able to save enough to buy a phone, comes home and it becomes a family phone. So if it's a Facebook page, a Facebook app, Facebook has like 20 accounts in that one phone for everybody. And I'm taking Facebook because our research showed Facebook is the #1 platform that is used in Africa, Kenya, Senegal, and Malawi. It's the most popular platform, even for younger children, for younger, like 13, 14-year-olds. It's very, very popular. And then the other thing is it's autonomous. It's me, my, and I. Okay, but for Africa, it's family thing. Okay, I always give an example of my children. Okay, my son, whenever he sees a very interesting meme, he goes like, "Mommy, here, see, can I send it to you? Can I send it to you?" Because it's a family thing. It's a family, it's a community. We share everything. Okay, we share everything. It's a family thing. And then in terms of validation and it's called what? Information integrity and stuff like that. Most of the time, in the frameworks they assume you are living alone and you can be able to do that. You can be able to click here, click there. There's an app there to be able to verify and validate your information. But in Africa, the WhatsApp becomes the verifying platforms. Okay, if something happens, it will come into your family group, and in Africa, it will come into your family. Is this true? With a question, is this true? Did this happen? Because we depend on other humans to verify. We don't depend on apps to verify, because that's us. Okay, if you go back to our communities, that's what we used to do. You verify. Oh, so and so has died. Are you sure? Or so and so is getting married. Are you sure? Or so and so is pregnant and about to get a baby. Yeah. So we are that kind of, we always verify with human. Okay, our verification is human. And then stranger danger. Stranger danger is what? In Africa, we don't know stranger danger because I am, because we are. So you cannot harm me. Okay, there's no one's that strangers. Okay, in African communities, we don't believe in strangers. Okay, everybody in the communities. And because of that, when you say friends, we say community, we say group, we say, in these terms that are used to build platforms, they make it very easy for children to go like, oh, it's a community. So community definition of a community in your mind, it's someone who knows me. Okay, and that's why like the Maria scenario, we saw like, Liz knows me. So if Liz is friends with Alamin, so me and Alamin are friends. So we remove Liz and we become friends directly. And that's how children relate. Because you're a friend of my friend, we are friends. Okay. So, and because of that, we find that children, and this relation, it creates relational trust. Okay. And it plays both sides, good or bad. Okay. Inward or outward. So that relation trust is a huge thing when it comes to the digital space, because we have moved our belief system, our value system into the digital space, not knowing what the digital space, that it was not built for Africans. It was not built with Africans in mind. Okay. And because of that, we find children are in danger, or they get bullied, or they get extorted, or they get missing or kidnapped, not because they are stupid, it's because of their value system. They have been built, there's no stranger danger. Stranger danger is not an African thing. It is, I am because we are. I don't believe you can be able to hurt me. And you're a friend of my friend. Why can't you be my friend? Okay. Because of that, a lot of children get harmed. Okay. So, and then the other thing, so this is very new. And then now with AI coming up, just coming up a couple of years ago, well, blowing up, not coming up, blowing up the other day, we find that control is a big thing, that we are not able to determine what comes to our timelines. Okay, I go on Facebook. Facebook is going to direct me to places that I am not interested in. It's always manipulating and controlling me. And when it comes to Africa, this is becoming a huge thing, where because we believe in these things, okay? And so it becomes controlled. We are controlled by on what we are seeing, the kind of content. I'm not going to get into CSAM and all that. I'm just talking about the control bit, the algorithms bit, the understanding bit, the mental framework bit, okay, of how the digital space is coming. Because we found from, like, for example, in Busia, and the conflict place was West Pokot, West Pokot. We found how children, because they have watched Facebook so much and they have a very distorted view of themselves, okay? They have very distorted views of themselves. So because of that, they feel they need to go to Nairobi because Nairobi is a better place. That's where all things, so they have a distorted place and a mental framework of themselves, and that results to low self-esteem. So as I said, we have added control for this framework, okay? Because of this application of cruelty. For example, issues to do with bullying and cyberbullying. Now, when gossip, okay, someone says gossip was African news channel, okay? That's how information was moved from one person to another, through gossip, okay? But now when gossip goes online, and it's amplified negatively, it becomes cyberbullying, okay? But because we do not understand that, we find there's a lot of bullying going on, but it's a joke or it's information sharing. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's bullying. It's bullying, but we don't have the word for it. We don't name it, okay? And then it's giving us content from different places, okay? And then and this is the underline, okay? The digital environment is disembodying, but the African children epistemology is relational, okay? So where the digital space takes you as an individual, as a node, African children are relational. We are a web. We are not one, we are a web. We are created to be web, okay? So this framework is trying to be able to talk from digital literacy from that perspective, okay? So we are using the Ubuntu philosophy to be able to build this, and African philosophies to be able to build this. And the framework has 6 areas, and all areas, for those who have known me long enough, I name them after African terms, because I believe it's very important for our language to be, to move on, okay? For our children to be able to remember our languages and our philosophies, okay? So it has 6 areas: Maziko, Nzeru, Lakana, Kosan, Badea, and Uwezo, okay? Each one an African name with African values. It was built, the framework has been built from 4 important researchers, but most importantly, the It's a Fact research is the base. But as the last 2 years, we have been involved in quite a number of research. A key one is the Gumzo Letu. It's a research around cyberbullying. And the things that we heard from children, we had to do something because children are being bullied. In fact, what children told us, that yes, Oxea does happen, but cyberbullying happens more often, and children are harming themselves more often because of cyberbullying than Oxea. Okay, I can share a nude. It's okay. But when someone a friend of mine, you remember the relationship trust, where my friend is my friend and my friend's friend, so we are friends. You know, the whole network thing. So in that network, if someone hurts me in that network, it has a huge impact on my personality and my personal and my esteem. So I get and say, how can they do that? It's not how can he do that, it's how can they do that? So it impacts the children's self-esteem. Okay, so that research opened for us a way of saying, how can we be able to intervene from an Afrocentric perspective? And the other one is a research we did on AI and Kenyan children, and then another one on Spotlight on Africa. We did it with Sonia's center at London School of Economics. So, and the framework does not only target the child, it targets the 3, the caregiver and the educator. And the reason is because we realize if you don't empower the caregiver and the educator, whatever you're doing in the middle is nothing, because the caregiver has to have the capacity to be able to support the child to navigate the digital space. And the educator needs to have the capacity to enforce what they have been learning about. Because especially in our Rights.ai research, what we found out is teachers do not understand the AI, they don't understand anything. So the children are the ones who are teaching them. Okay, so what does that do to the teacher? The teacher themselves, because they don't have the capacity, they're not able to support the children. They're not able to enforce some of these things that we are teaching. So because they don't understand themselves. So the framework is focusing on all the 3, the caregiver, the child, and the educator. And then, the framework, now the components of the framework, Maziko, the foundation, okay? Device operation. We take for granted that we know how to open a computer or we know how to open a phone. But the kids, Evan's children, will tell you, some of them saw Zoom the first time we went there. Okay, and now I'm so happy that they are joining us live on Zoom. And some of them, they saw the first time they saw Zoom, how to switch on a computer, how to switch on the whole process. Okay, it's when they saw it on us. So how do we empower children to operate the gadgets and then access them and then operate them? Okay, how can we ensure that before we start talking about training, how do we ensure that these children have access? Okay. Uwezo, okay. How can we increase urgency? Okay, how to ensure that technology is not taking power from us, the whys. Okay, how can we ensure that there's urgency? Okay, it's not just being taught on how to communicate, whatever, but an urgency that I'm not going to be controlled by a machine. There's a machine and there's a human. Okay, how can we give those skills? Because skills to do with urgency. And then so that's just an explanation of that. And then the relational trust. Okay, I've explained to you this one. My friend is your friend, so we are friends. Okay, but what happens when your friend is an enemy or a bad actor? How do we teach children to know the difference and to be able to break that cycle? Okay, how do we continue supporting the Ubuntu-ness, but in a safe way? Okay, those are the skills that the children need. And then community verification. I've already said, before we go and Google, is this true? it's already on your WhatsApp group or somewhere, or asking your colleague, is this true? Or in school, I heard about this, is this true? Okay, how can we be able to empower communities that they can be able to verify information, especially in the AI age? How are we able to support children and families to be able to verify mis and disinformation, real and fake? How are we able to support communities to be able to do that? Okay, my slides are not moving. And I think we've spoken the question of why, okay? Because most of the time we tell children, don't. We don't tell them the why. Okay? Why are we telling you to have a password? Why are we telling you not to have an account if you're not 13 years old? Why are we telling you not to go into that plan? There is the why question. We do not train that. We don't go to the extent of telling them this is how the platform works and this is why it works the way it does. Okay, because I think our generation, especially people my generation, we were taught not to ask questions. It is, as he said, it is, okay? We were not taught how to ask questions. So are we able to explain to our children, this is why we are saying this. This is why we are saying, as you tell your children about passwords, as you're telling your children, don't send nudes, as you're telling your children, don't say babuli, give them the why. And then content creation. And this is, for me, this is very important because especially for, is it West Pokot, not West Pokot, Kapenguria. No, it's the same place. Busia. These kids were amazing. When you went there, they did not know how to create content. But when you went there 6 months later, they were creating content. And they said they want to create content in their own language. The children said, when you go to AI, it's not speaking our language. So how can we be able to encourage local language, local issues to be increased and to be able, so when you're talking about content, we're not just talking content creation, we're saying local content creation. That we are a child who cannot go on TikTok and speak very good English, they speak Teso. They feel proud speaking Teso on TikTok. Okay, they feel proud speaking Kipsigis or Chichewa or Chinyanja, whatever language they speak, Wolof. They feel proud without feeling as if they are, because that's one of the biggest things they're saying, we cannot because we don't speak good English, because platforms are for English speakers. But how can we encourage local language content creation, and not just one genre, not dancing on TikTok, but also drum beating, okay, storytelling around the village, okay? How can you be able to encourage that type of content creation that is not very Western, but it's local, that a child in Kapenguria, they feel comfortable sharing their story from Kapenguria, and they don't have to be in Nairobi to be able to share their story. So, and this is our recommendation for the curriculum, okay? Importance before skills. Establish the why, okay? Before you go tell the child, or find out the why, okay? And make sure that you teach the why, okay? And then also the relational trust. How can you be able to measure and receive the end? Like it's a receiving and it's a relationship. They give and take. Okay, it's a relationship thing. And then for adults, you give adults the skills. You cannot be able to empower a child when their parents are not skilled. Okay, and then we need to be able to bring policies, okay, that are practical. Okay. And then these are recommendations for the different parts. I'm not going to go that. Thank you so much for joining, and back to our moderators. I don't know our moderators, but thank you so much. I will take a few questions as the moderators come. Any questions as the moderators come and sit down? So I'm answering the child who asked that question. The study really helped at all. It did help. We came up with that. Any questions based on that? Thank you so much, Carissa. Thank you. Thank you so much, the children from Busia. We really, really do appreciate. Thank you so much. Back to our moderators. Let me move.
Hi everyone. Hello guys. Hello. I know you guys have missed us. Najua mmetutamani tu sana pale. But I hope you guys are good. Hope the lovely session with Miss Jennifer was amazing. You guys have gotten to basically see how the framework has been come up with, how many children were involved, what it basically entails. And I'm hoping you guys had a fun, amazing time listening to that and listening to Miss Jennifer's sort of presentation. So thank you guys so much. Now we've gotten to the best part of this entire program and this entire meeting. Guys, it's not a launch without the actual launch. So we're going to have a special launch video just in a couple of you where we're actually going to launch this. So drum rolls as we move on to the launch. All right, so production team, it's all yours to go. A lovely thank you to everyone who was a part of this meeting, a part of the research itself. Thank you to everyone who asked questions. It's lovely to see that people are genuinely listening and following through with what people are talking about. So that's amazing. That's lovely from all of you guys. Thank you to all the guys who presented. And although we had a few issues here and there, I think we can gladly say that it was a fruitful meeting, definitely.
Yeah,
So
definitely. So guys, we're gonna be getting our closing remarks from none other than Mr. Chimwemwe from Malawi.
right.
So we're gonna let him take the stage, Mr. Chimwemwe. This is your stage. Yeah, you do your thing.
All right, it seems that Mr. Chimwemwe is not here, but that's completely fine because we have another amazing person who's going to give us closing remarks. So we're going to invite Evans
from
Busia to give us
a video montage of children's voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the meanwhile, as we wait for that video montage to come on, I just want to say a huge thank you and give a huge means of appreciation to everyone who joined us in this meeting, in this launch, in this whole sort of process of like being a part of this meeting. I know it's genuinely such, it's like to get time just to enter or like to be a part of this. I know like some of you guys are working, some of you guys had to, some of you guys had to. You guys are ready? All right. So
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for coming and joining us on this amazing launch. It was very lovely meeting you all. It was very lovely seeing all you guys and seeing how amazing that we can think. And it's very lovely. Again, thank you so much, guys, for getting the time. And I fully appreciate you guys coming here. So let's give Evans the stage.
Wait, which Evans? Is it me or is it Karani?
It hurt before
Okay,
we left.
so the one who has a video montage of the children voices, let's have that rolling right now.
Hello everyone, this is Collis Church. That's with my friends here. We say thank you, and it has been an interesting session, and we thank for that. And also, I would like just to say that we've enjoyed. It's fantastic, and also we appreciate you, and we welcome you back to Busia in another day, so that we may see you again. So my friends, you have something to say. Maybe if you may just listen to them, they want to say thank you and bye.
Thank you. Bye.
That's how we are happy now. Bye. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Evans. So guys, once again, it was very lovely having you guys a part of this amazing launch. Thank you to everyone who decided to join us. Thank you to everyone who like add out their opinions. It's very lovely to see that people our age and people older than us are actually, it's very exciting to see that people older than us are willing to give us a chance to speak out our opinions and actually listen to us based off all the arguments that were basing offward. So it was very lovely having this meeting. It was very lovely having all of you guys join us. I'm very sorry for the minor inconveniences that we've had here and there. Hopefully, if there is a next time, there probably will be a next time though. Now for the actual Sasa, everything, maybe when we're reviewing the report and everything, we're going to have very small, or matter of fact, we're praying that we don't even have inconveniences at all. Other than that, it was very lovely having you guys a part of this meeting. And I guess this is where the meeting ends. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And you know what? W's in the chat.
Chaotic, but you guys are able and you feel comfortable.
And just
Everybody
like
bye.
everybody bye.
Yeah.
Like you can switch on your camera, switch on your mics, and just say hi, bye everyone, bye everyone.
Yeah.
It was lovely. Like this, that's amazing. Bye guys, bye.
Thank you so much, everyone.
So if you guys are interested in the research and the framework that have been presented here in the chat, you'll see some links just before you leave. You want the Teranga framework, it's right there in the flip book sort of, it's also in the chat. But other than that, thank you guys so much for joining us in this meeting. Thank you guys so much for having the time. And I guess we'll probably see you next time.
Yeah, on the
Bye-bye.
guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.